Good morning, JJ.
Good morning.
Good morning, everybody. Happy to be here with you again today.
We're here.
We're here. We made it with all the different tech glitches and
we,
everything. Hey, T-
we've had so many tech issues. It's been crazy. Yeah.
today was a Mercury retrograde day, even if it's not Mercury retrograde or morning anyway. Yeah, how are you doing?
I'm good. I'm
Yeah,
good. It's been, you don't have to deal. You're always in cold, right? You're in Canada.
yeah,
Uh, in snow, you're used to it.
yes, yes.
But we got another hit. We had the ice storm that hit a couple weekends ago,
Oh,
and then this
yes,
past
yes, yes,
weekend
yes,
we
yes,
got
yes.
snow. So
Yeah.
we had like a foot and a half, a little over a foot of snow. Shut us
Wow.
down. Like now, where kids are going back to school. It's
Right,
Thursday,
right.
so
Wow. A
but
different
it's
reality,
all
hey?
melted. But yeah, it's been weird. Like
Yeah,
we're ill equipped. Both our bones, like it is
yeah.
anything under 30. It's just not. Uh, we don't know how to handle that very well.
Yes, yes, I can imagine. Yeah.
Hmm.
Yeah, I think our last show together, I wasn't on last week, but the week before you were preparing.
We were preparing. That's
Yeah, you
right.
were preparing.
And and that was mild. Like everyone was preparing for like a 10-day shutdown. It didn't.
Oh,
Like
okay.
it didn't. People. I think hardly anybody lost power, but schools were closed for 4 days,
Yeah.
and then two
Wow.
days after that, the kids go to school on last Thursday and Friday, and then
Okay.
Saturday it snowed. It was beautiful though, beautiful fluffy snow.
Mm.
Um, and Sunday, and then the schools were closed Monday, Tuesday, half day Wednesday,
Oh, the kids must have loved that.
and so today is like their first formal day back
Mm.
in the rhythm. So I hope it's we're hope we're done. I hope we're
We haven't had any
done.
snow here yet. I mean, the mountains have
It's
had.
because it's too cold where you are to even snow.
Hang on a second. Oh yeah, it's too funny. So, but we usually tend to get our snow around end of February, March. We tend to get a freeze for a few days. So that might come yet. Yeah. Yeah.
Oh my goodness! So what's been going on with you guys? I'm
Uh
over
just
just just doing the
just
normal.
just doing the normal. We've had a lot of rain, so much rain. We have a creek that runs through our property. It grew 3 times its size. So that was
Oh,
But what the beauty of it is that we have a cascading waterfall right at the front, so it turns into a big, beautiful waterfall, which is great. As long as it doesn't breach the bank. Yeah, like the Grinch's heart. The Grinch's heart?
the
What is
Grinch's.
that? What does that have to do with the Grinch's heart? I don't know that one.
Uh, um, what was it? It grew two sizes. That's what it was.
Oh, grew 2 sizes. Oh, that's too funny. Yeah, you're that's so fun. Yes, it grew 2 sizes, just like the Grinch's heart. Yeah, yeah.
Oh, and I'm so excited about our topic this week. It's
Yes. Too.
and did you talk about, I think, because you were on earlier this week, right? Or
No.
okay, so that I'm thinking about, because one of the shows they talked about the women's black women's contribution, I think, to NASA, and like
Okay.
the the whole movie Hidden
I remember that
Figures.
movie. That was an amazing movie. Yeah,
Oh, love
yeah,
that.
yeah.
And just amazing to see how that their stories were told,
Yes.
because we don't. Yeah, oh, Sharon did that. That's right.
Sharon
Uh,
did that. Yeah, right. I remember seeing that on the list. Yeah.
yeah,
I
and
love that movie. That
I
was like,
love that movie. But also,
yeah,
it's just like it's crazy to think back that that was what, in the '60s, right? But how um, math and science and all that was relegated. It was almost like only the place for women to really succeed. I mean, and specifically black women, it was like that's how, because it was seen as lesser than, of like, well, and they were called computers. I mean, it's just like that's what they were like, well, you need to go to the computer department. And the computer department was 30 women literally doing math.
It's incredible.
And
Yeah.
but it was seen as remedial. It was seen as mudsill. Like it
Instead
was
of super intelligent.
and super intelligent. I mean, it's just
Yeah.
how mindset shifts, right? And
Yeah.
and what we think. So I love that they told that story and they brought those, those women of history. And so that's what I was like. When I saw the topic, that was where I was immediately like, oh, I want to talk about because there's so many more than just the three women that were portrayed, because it was truly like so many more people. And there's also, as you started seeing success in STEM, from their level of, as Black women started getting into more of that and doing like patents, designs, and stuff. They were typically either stolen or they couldn't get the investment because they were like, "Oh, that's a great idea. I want to buy the idea." Was a Black woman. They backed off, and then they found like workarounds and stuff. So there's a lot of like just history of what could have been.
Yes.
Where
one the path just changes from what it could be.
Yeah. So I'm so glad that Sharon told their stories and kind of honored them with Black women in history. But that's where I was like, oh, what are the other inventions that
we don't know about?
That were invented by Black women. Yeah. And there's, and when I started looking at that, I'm going, oh my gosh, like nobody talks about that.
Yeah.
We don't ever hear about that, but like the traffic light.
Oh, really?
The traffic light.
Wow.
That was a Black man. It wasn't a Black woman, but still the traffic light.
Yes.
Was by an African American man.
What the whole world benefits from.
The whole world benefits from. Again, this is not a black woman, but the super soaker. Yeah. Like that was a Black man. He invented that. Wow. But my favorite one is, which most people don't know, is the home security system.
Wow.
Was invented by Marie Van Britten.
Wow.
Marie Van Britten Brown. She invented what is known as like you have CPS or your home security system. It literally, her patents of what the background of that technology is based on her patents.
Wow.
Isn't that crazy?
That's amazing. I love learning these facts,
I do too.
Because it also reminds us that what we see isn't necessarily everything, right? So then it sort of awakens the mind to explore, right? Yes. To be open to things. Sorry, I just got to. Oh
no. And my other favorite is, so Sarah Good is a Black woman. She invented two things, which were like, so, like if you go to a hotel and you need the cabinet bed, like the pull-out bed.
Yeah.
That's her patent. She designed that. Yeah. Wow. Her family owned hotels, or they were cleaning. So they were, owned like a smaller, what we call like a traditional like motel, started in B&Bs.
Yeah.
Where they kind of converted there like a hostel or home that, is like I want to say bed and breakfast, but then they also cleaned, right? And it was so she invented when people said, hey, the travelers, I need to add a bed to the room. Right. Let's do the pull-out bed. So it was that. So that was one of her inventions. Cool. And because they also were, they also cleaned and had to be efficient in like ironing, she invented the ironing board.
The ironing board. Wow.
Yeah.
Wow, that's amazing.
So those are things that we use today. Yeah. But yeah, that was Sarah Good. And then like the what is it? I'm trying to think of some of the other ones. Like looking through my list, because it's like it's Black History Month, and there's also, refrigerator trucks, like the refrigerated trucks of that was invented by a Black man, Frederick McKinley Jones.
Wow.
He did the first successful air conditioning unit for trucks so that they could be transported. Or the blood bank, that was Dr. Charles Drew.
Wow.
That blood bank, the electric microphone. So the microphones that we use,
So all the podcasters,
all the radio shows,
indebted. Yes.
That was, and even
Wow.
like the same technology that's in phones. That was like the original phones,
Wow.
But that was James West.
Wow.
That was a Black man that invented that. The automatic elevator doors.
Really? Wow.
With Otis Elevator, but it was one of the inventor was Alexander Miles.
Wow.
Patricia Bath was the other one, that she did the probe for cataract surgery.
Oh, wow.
So it's just, I just think it's, you're never taught that, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
You're only, you hear about Edison, you hear about, Tesla.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Is that Patricia Bath? That's pictured under me? Yeah. Yes. Thank you, Ron.
Wow.
Ron's like, okay. The other one, I don't know if Sharon talked about this, because she did do a lot of stuff with NASA, but Marion Rogers Croak, she has over like 200 or 300 patents, but they're all in like the like AT&T, like the phone protocols, the VoIP technology.
Wow.
She started out in the Bell's division, like what used to be like Bell Telephone.
Okay. Wow.
But like all of our how we transfer, the phone, that technology, the VoIP, the voice messaging system. She invented all that technology.
Wow. That's
right.
amazing.
And you're right. And Ron is right.
Exactly.
It was men that typically took over and either took credit for those inventions. It's like we hear about, Bell South or Bell Technology, but the fact that they had 3 African American, 2 women and 1 man that invented a lot of things.
Yeah.
But they took credit, for it.
Cover it up.
And it's like Gladys West. She was, again, I think she worked for NASA, but she was the one that built and did all like the baseline of what GPS is.
Okay. Oh, I read that.
So GPS wouldn't exist if it went for Dr. Gladys West.
Wow.
And I think Sharon probably, and she's pictured under you, Luannah.
Okay.
Yeah. But yeah, she worked for NASA. She worked for the Naval Academy, but that's what she created. It was that complex mathematics of understanding like how to longitude and latitude and how to do the shortcuts of like, where am I? Navigation. Mm-hmm. So we're not looking at the stars.
Yeah. Yeah. Johnny B. Good cousin is pictured in the middle. Oh.
And that's Sarah Good, right? She's the one that invented the ironing board and the fold-out table or the fold-out bed.
Right.
Yeah, I mean, it's just crazy inventions. I was looking at things like who was it? Shirley Ann Jackson. She was a physicist and she worked for MIT. And she was the first doctorate that like the first African American that graduated as a doctorate from MIT. And she also went to go work for AT&T, the Bell Labs.
Okay.
And she was the creator of like the first working in the semiconductor within Bell Labs. So all around like the optical systems, how we triangulate, how we communicate.
Yeah.
Again, another Bell Labs African American woman.
Yeah.
But people, people know about Bell Labs, but they don't realize the trailblazing that Shirley Ann and some of the others were there. And I talked about, Sarah Boone with the ironing board. I'm looking for another fun one. Oh, Alice Parker is another one. She has several patents, but she was the one that invented the gas heater. So if you have and it's still the design of the modern day gas heater, what will you put in your sunroom, whatever, to give you heat. That was invented by Alice Parker.
So many of the things that we rely on every day, right? They're at their foundation.
And so she invented the first the heater, but it also then she went on to how to expand that to be your home's furnace and your entire heating system within your house. Wow. So it's part of the HVAC system.
Wow, that's pretty phenomenal.
That is crazy. I always go, I don't know,
sorry.
I'm always amazed by people. I see patterns and shapes, and I can take data and analysis and analyze it. But for people to use similar math, those patterns, the math, but then put it into mechanics.
Yes. Incredible.
This is how these things work together.
Yeah.
That is not my brain.
Yeah.
No, that's not how my brain works. Hey, Jake, how are you? Welcome to the show.
Hey, Jake.
We're talking about all things Black women inventors, the things that we didn't know. But I'm amazed at my brain does not go there.
Yeah. No, they're genius. Total genius. Yeah. Beautiful.
Yeah. And let's see, another NASA, which she wasn't in hidden, wasn't one that was in the Hidden Figures, but she did work for NASA. Her name is Valerie Thomas. She was a data scientist and an inventor, but she invented the illusion transmitter.
Wow, what is that for?
So she developed the real-time computer data systems to support satellite operations control centers. Wow. So the what they call the Landsat system. So it was being able for NASA scientists to visualize Earth from space.
Wow. That's pretty
with data. I don't know how that works.
Well, it's the same like computer programming. How do they do it that we can be seen on the computer right now? Do you know what I mean? Put it together, right?
Right. Well, so what she concluded was the illusion. So the basis of that was the illusion of a light bulb sometimes can appear to be lit, even though it has been removed from its socket. So, when you unscrew it, sometimes you have the residual of the light.
Residual glow, right.
Right. So she wanted to understand why that was happening.
Wow, that's very cool.
And how if you use mirrors, light, how that affects, and then how to be able to measure things from afar using kind of those mathematics, which is again, crazy. To me.
Crazy, incredible. Yeah. Phenomenal.
I would go, that's kind of a neat thing, Or when people use the light bulb in the potato and it lights up because there's enough energy in the potato. Like there are people that are that, like I feel like I'm a curious person.
Yeah.
But these brains of these women who literally changed how we work today, how we operate, the tools that we get to use, they not only like went hyper vigilant curiosity to go, not only let me see why, but like I want to reproduce it and I want to take the why and I want to measure other things.
Yeah.
Like
yeah. Mind blown. Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah.
The inventions. Yeah, those were the cool ones. And I'm sure there's others that are just forgotten, right? That people took credit for, people don't know.
Yeah.
And another one that's, I forgot about this one, Miriam Benjamin in 1888. So again, these are like a long time ago. Invented the gong and signal chair for hotels, which is so back in 1888. But this was if you needed a call button for servers. So she invented like if you were in a hotel and needed, and like if you've seen those in like some of the historic hotels, there would be like a little button. And it would, and your waiter would call, or if you were in your hotel room and you would sit in the chair. She invented that back in 1888.
Wow.
But it's the same technology as what's in airplanes to call your stewardess.
Wow.
Your flight attendant. Yeah.
Wow.
And it was like Sarah Boone, she did the ironing board, and that was patented in 1892.
Wow. Yeah. I'm always amazed every time I open the ironing board. I'm like, wow, this is really cool. How this
works. And then I don't if it's Lida Newman in 1898. She patented the hairbrush, like the round bristle, the open bristle, using the synthetic bristles.
Okay. Wow.
That she did that for more Black women's hair, of like how not to do, it needs to be softer with like more surface area to cover, but without damaging the hair.
Ripping it apart.
That was Miss Newman.
Wow.
And then Madam Walker, which some of her products, but she was the first line of hair care products, mostly for Black women, but then it became broader of just anybody that needed like, the smoothing, more, scalp care. This was like in the early 1900s, but she was the first, not just Black female, but she was the first female to become a self-made millionaire.
Wow.
In the early 1900s.
Awesome.
Madam Walker.
Madam Walker.
Miss
What
Walker.
an amazing example. Hey,
yeah.
Ability.
And there's been other, we talked about, Patricia Bath and Valerie Thomas, and the other one is Bessie Blount Griffin. And she was, invented in the 50s, the electronic feeding device for amputees for wounded soldiers.
Wow. Okay.
Because, that was something she saw an issue in the wars and stuff. And she was like, there has to be a better way to care for wounded soldiers.
Beautiful.
Yeah.
Well, thank you, JJ. That was
You are so welcome.
It
was fun. I'm glad that we got to expand on what Sharon talked about earlier this week.
Yeah, no, that's really awesome. Thank you for that.
And it's stuff that's like still around. Like we're using it. It's completely all that stuff. Some of that stuff disrupted our worlds.
It changed everything. Without those inventions, we wouldn't have the things we have. Right? Yeah, it's pretty phenomenal. Well, I want to say thank you to everybody that's here, and I wanted to let everybody know where you can watch us live. where you are, you already know, but there's a lot of other places. So you can watch us live on YouTube, Rumble, Kick at Rhode Island Broadcasting. Twitch is at RI_broadcasting. And X Twitter is at broadcasting RI. And then you can also listen to us via audio on Red Circle, Spotify, TuneIn, and iHeartRadio at RI Broadcasting. And then you can follow our social media, and most important, Facebook, please. We're still building that page. So if you could go and just at the end of the show and like, and then we can start streaming there too. That would be really awesome. After we lost our page, we had 10,000 followers there, I think, right? And then it just was gone, right? Talk about tech.
Like, yeah, the Zuck screwed us.
Yeah, so please follow us on Facebook, and then also you can follow us on Blue Sky, MeWe, Parler, Gab, LinkedIn, Space Hey, Space Hey, at RI Broadcasting. And then you can also go to our website, which is RhodeIslandBroadcasting.net, and there you can see all the shows, anything that you've missed. If you want to go back and see what we've built upon, how we got where we are, all the great hosts that we have. There's so many great shows there to watch, so you can go there. Yeah. And then I'm going to lead into, for me, when I found out it was Black
wait, hold on. We have to vote for the Hall of Fame.
What's that? Oh, the vote. Yes.
The vote for the Hall of Fame. So
Okay.
who won? Hold on. Before
Vote
we
for the Hall
go.
of Fame.
So it was Mary Poppins.
She won. Yay! Love Mary Poppins.
So Mary Poppins and The Great Escape.
Wow.
Psycho kind of came up and tied with Sound of Music, and then Space Odyssey, 2001 Space Odyssey. But yay, I'm glad Mary Poppins won. Yay.
Wow.
Now, okay, so what are we voting on now? What's the vote?
Twin Peaks, The X-Files, Buffy the Vampire Slayer.
Oh,
Oz and ER. Those are pretty good shows.
Those are good shows. It's gonna be a tough one between the X-Files and Buffy the Vampire.
Yeah, those would be two.
Vampire Slayer for me, even though I loved all the shows.
Yeah.
But
I agree.
But I might have to lean. I might have to vote for the X-Files. So here's my the reason why is I'm just gonna blurt this out, but
yeah, go for it.
I'm going to date myself here.
That's all right.
So I got my degree in marketing communications and political science, research design, all that. But in a couple of my classes, for the requirements, you had to take a how media influences pop culture.
Okay.
Side note, my professor who at Indiana University, champions, was the sister, Ron might know this, so was the sister of the actor that was in Animal House.
Okay.
And was also Maestro from Seinfeld.
Oh,
if you remember that, but that was her brother. But anyway, part of the class was you had to because school started in August or whatever, and that's when seasons started on TV. So you had to look to see what the programming slate was for all the new shows, and we had to analyze like what were the new shows coming out, and which ones did we feel like. And that was the assignment of you have to go and watch to see what the promos,
right.
how the TV studios were positioning the shows, how it was positioned in the slate, where it was scheduled, and then you had to pick one show to go. That's the one that's gonna, will it get renewed?
Right.
At the end of the, because it was a 2 semester, so you had to follow the show, and then you also had to choose which one did you think was going to be the first one to get canceled.
Right.
And
You bet.
I chose the one, and then you had to write like a paper around why,
Okay.
that. But my show that I chose, I watched the first episode of X-Files, and I was the first one to come in and go, I'm choosing X-Files. That thing's going to go.
Yeah.
That thing's going to go minimum of
Right.
3 seasons, but it's going to take, it's a long haul.
Yeah.
And everyone thought I was crazy in my class. So,
Yeah.
but yeah. So there's my X-Files one.
Oh,
I picked the winner.
you picked the winner. That's great. My buddy Pono just showed up here. There he is. There he is.
Oh,
Oh, he's making a
so
debut.
sweet.
Oh, there he's coming up there.
What kind of dog is he?
He's part Bernese, part Old English Sheepdog.
We talked about, I don't know if you were on the show, I know Ron was, when we talked about dogs, that I had lost our Bernese mountain dog from cancer after 6 years.
So sorry.
Died too soon. So sweet. His name was Moose.
Moose. Oh, perfect name.
Perfect name. Yeah.
Yeah. I think you shared a picture in our.
I did. Yeah.
Right? Yeah.
He was sweet. He was our company mascot.
Aw. Sweet. That's so beautiful. I love this guy. He keeps putting his head under my arm to get me to caress him.
Oh, I didn't see Jake's note. You actually, so Adam Bush was on your show? That's awesome. Yeah. I'm a junkie for Buffy. I love the movie. I think it's iconic. It has that blend of like 80s, a little bit of 80s cheese, even though, and then the early like the TV show, it was Chef's Kiss. I was also an Angel fanatic. So all the spinoffs was junkie.
Yeah. Yeah, I remember I enjoyed Buffy the Vampire Slayer, and I love X-Files. My husband and I love watch that.
Yes. Yeah. So here's another little fun note. Angel is David Baran's. He is one of the, him and I think Nathan Fillion are one of very few, the 2 actors that have led more than I think 2 or 3 series. It's like handful, and I think it might be one other actor, and I can't think of, but they're 2 of 3 that have led different series, different genre, and have done well. But David Brands, he's awesome.
Awesome. Well, great. Well, I'm going to go in to share about who I chose to talk about, and it's Maya Angelou.
Oh, love her.
She brought depth, heart, soul healing to people around the world, turning her life into an example of what's possible when we choose love and when we heal, right? Mm-hmm. So I chose her because I've read some of her poetry through the years, and it really lifted me up. So I wanted to learn a little bit more about her too. So this is a part of me getting to know her through doing this in the show today as well, which was very, very beautiful. And, there are lives that, are lived to inspire us toward courage and resilience and love. And it's amazing the legacy that she's left behind, right? So she became a lighthouse for so many generations, and it'll continue. That's her legacy, right?
That's right.
How to rise and find our voice, after being silenced, after feeling oppressed, after abuse, after anything that dampened the light of our soul. She was the voice. She was the voice to say, okay, no, your fire is in you.
Yeah.
And you can get rid of that dampening field, and you can rise. Like one of her famous poems was "I Rise." Right?
Is it a short one? Can you read it?
It's a short one.
Yeah.
I just have an excerpt from it. So, you may write me down in history with your bitter, twisted lies, but still, like dust, I'll rise. I'll rise. I'll rise. Mm-hmm. That's a really nice one. That's the excerpt that I took from it.
Yeah.
Yeah. So very beautiful. And then I got some information about, who she was. She was born Margarita Annie Johnson on April 4th, 1928 in St. Louis.
What was her
Margaret Annie Johnson.
Huh. Where
And
did the Maya
her
Angelou?
brother renamed her Maya.
Huh.
And that's the name that became legendary. So that was like a nickname he gave her. Pretty cool, hey? She was a poet, memorist, essayist, actress, civil rights activist, and educator. She passed on May 28th, 2014. I remember that day. I
I
remember
do remember that.
going
Oh
through
yeah.
Facebook that day. Oh, right. She was just like, she's such an incredible woman. And she was 86 when she
Yeah.
passed. And again,
A life well lived.
a life well lived, and she left a legacy that continues to shape literature and social consciousness, right? It's just, and that's the kind of, we're all here to leave a ripple somewhere somehow, right? And she left a massive ripple that as long as humanity is here, she's going to be touching the hearts and souls, right? Because there's certain patterns and cycles and dynamics that we go through in our life, right? There's so many phases where we feel not seen, or we feel not heard, or we might feel dominated, or we might feel afraid, right? And her voice carries you through all of those territories,
right? And she knew how to like cut through things, but in a well, obviously in a very poetic way.
Yeah.
But it was all about how do you pursue freedom,
Yes.
and reflecting on we're all in this. It's a shared humanity.
Yes, there's a poem I want to read from her where she's saying that. Yeah, about the shared humanity. So she lived a life of incredible courage, and she survived, racial prejudice, poverty, and violence, in America. And that is huge. Like I just admire, how she and others came through that. And so beautifully, so strongly. And I just see the light in every
and still having light.
Yeah, like exactly the light.
And I think that's such a good of like, there's one thing about having a voice, using your voice, being positive. She had this like ultimate optimism about it, but it was always about, I need to bring other people with me. Yeah. And that's such a leadership trait that I think we used to talk about that a lot. At least that's how, when I would grow up, of like, what makes a leader? Yeah. Who do you need to admire? Yeah. What are those traits and qualities that really make up somebody that you need to, like I said, look up to, follow, emulate, and emulate. And it was people that not only were super humble. Yeah. She wasn't loud. She was quiet and observant, totally optimistic, but she brought people with her. Yeah. It was always about, there's too many, I think, leaders today that it's just, let me see how loud and how selfish, and the light's on me. Yes. And she was one, along with so many others in her time, that was like, no, it's not I, it's we, and what we can do. Yes. And how do we bring that optimism to the world? Yeah.
And it's like she didn't, like, I like the metaphor you said, where people are looking to have the light shone on them. No, she was the light. She shone the light, and she shared the light. Right. There's a poem that I read when I was 15, and I still have it. I wrote it on my bank book. I don't remember the day we had bank books. And I still have this poem. And for me, she's a person who helps this. So the poem is the soul is a veiled light, neglected, and it will dim and die. But fuel it with the sacred oil of love, and it will burn an eternal flame. She brought that sacred oil of love to fan and fuel the flames of heart and soul that know there is a deeper truth beyond all the human contrasts that we go through and experience. But she said, no, there is a uniting force. That's love. That's our source. And that's what she focused on. And that's why she always inspired me, because that's always been, my focus. Love. We can find a way. Love finds a way. Right. Love can always find a way. And when we have that as our mantra, I know I've had that as my mantra, and it brought me through things that, I would not have made it through had I not had that as my mantra.
Exactly.
So
I think
she fueled my inner flame, my soul.
yeah.
Right?
Well, also I think she not only was the light, but she also knew when to be a mirror.
Yes.
To reflect others' lights and
Yes.
bring them forward.
Yes.
And I think that was, and sometimes that mirror was in her writing, and in her books and her literature, and
yes.
what she was a gift, gift to this world.
Totally. You know, and she had a lot of trauma, you know, after her childhood trauma that left her mute for years, where she didn't have voice at all. She found her voice through writing and poetry. And that's kind of like my story too. I had a hard time expressing most of my life. I did it through writing.
Yeah.
And so the writing gave me a voice as well. So I relate to her in that way as well. It's beautiful, right? The examples she gives. And I think we talked about hobbies, right? A few weeks ago. And that's the creative arts, right? Writing is also part of the creative arts, and how that can help keep us aligned.
That's how I found my voice too, and then having the courage to be able to express it beyond just paper.
Exactly. And then to put it into the world and to do it. Yeah, totally. And her first autobiography was I Know Why the Caged Birds Sing.
Yeah.
I never read the whole book, but I'm sort of like, there's some books I just sort of open. And that was exactly what I needed today.
Yeah. Yeah.
One of those books that I would just open randomly, and just such a beautiful book. And it was her first nonfiction bestseller. Actually, the first non-fiction bestseller by a Black woman.
Yeah.
So she broke that.
She broke that barrier.
She broke that barrier. You know, she stood side by side with leaders like Martin Luther King and Malcolm X in the civil rights movement, using her writing to fuel justice and equality.
Yeah.
I mean, what more empowering do you need than that? You know, she was a force.
That's right.
You know, she was a global speaker, lecturer, storyteller, and she was appearing around the world well into her 80s.
Yeah.
I mean, look at that, you know.
And did you ever listen to her speak? She, I don't know where, but she had this, like a cadence. She had a very smoothness about her, but a wonderful cadence.
Yes.
Reminds me. So Nina Simone is one of my favorite artists. I mean, and singer. I have downloaded all of her albums over the year. You know, it's hard to find, you know, old records. I think I have one that I found in a vintage shop, and it's so scratched up that it's like I just have it more for, you know, display than anything.
Right, just have it there.
But even when Nina Simone, whenever she, you know, sang, but also when she spoke in a lot of her albums, kind of like setting up the songs or the history, what's interesting, just there, and they had a lot of the same magic, right? The light, they lived a hard life. I mean, Nina Simone was, you know, abused and beaten, and she used music to overcome that. She was a mirror, but then she was also a light. But it's interesting, their voices, just when they spoke, was almost poetic. It was almost music. But they were very similar. If you listen to them speak, it's just, it is, I could listen all day just to have that.
Very soothing. It's like a lullaby voice that really lulls your nervous system into a rested place, right? And opens your heart. Yeah, you know, and so she didn't, you know, just write about resilience, right? Because that's really what it's all about, right? She embodied it, and she carried it. She gave the example of it, and her life reminds us that a voice can rise from silence, and that love can carry power where fear once ruled or lived.
Right. And I think that's exactly, because I think that's what gets us divisive and torn apart when you break it all down.
Mm-hmm.
Those that fight for control and authority are doing it really out of fear.
Oh, completely. Yeah.
100% out of fear.
The louder there, it's the fear.
And those that kind of are, it's about the shared humanity. It's about, you know, those that are trying to lead and protect people's freedoms, protect moral judgment, and moral consistency really are doing it. It's usually when you build it, it's a place of grace and love,
Yes.
and optimism.
Yes.
And so, yeah.
And it's almost like it's even beyond optimism, right? There's just she's connecting to a universal force that is recognizable in every single soul.
Yeah.
And optimism is sort of like the door that opens it, but then there's more. It's
Right.
like there's that ineffable quality of embodiment of that light.
Yeah.
You know, it's like, and I love that song, "This Little Light of Mine, I'm going to Let It Shine." It's one of my favorite little songs, right? And like she was that person. And
Yeah.
I've got the poem here about the shared humanity.
Hmm.
And that's another part I loved about her, because I've always felt that way too. You know, there's differences, but there's also unity. And if we focus only on the differences, they're going to rip us
That's
further
right.
apart. But if we can focus on where there's unity, even if there's just one point,
That's
but
right.
if we connect to that one point, then it can grow.
Right.
That's how we create, solidarity, connection,
Right.
a movement of love, a movement of
What's
wholeness.
humanity?
It's
Which
humanity. Yeah,
the word inside of humanity is human. We're all human.
exactly. And we all wrestle with life. We all wrestle with God. We all
Right.
wrestle with, like, who am I in this universe? Why am I in this universe? And what do I do?
We have such a short time on this.
How do I
make it
navigate
easier?
it? Yeah.
How do we make more light?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I wrestle with alligators. Yeah, I've had that too. Yeah. No, only with rhinos, but yeah. So the poem, it's called "A Brave, Startling Truth," and this is a section from it.
Excuse me.
Bless you. We, this people, on a small and lonely planet, traveling through casual space, past aloof stars, to a destination where all signs tell us it is possible and imperative that we learn a brave and startling truth. That all life is interrelated, that the children of every human tribe must come together to nurture life, to strive for peace. I love that. That's an expert. Beautiful, hey?
I love it.
And that's really what it all comes down to. And when we can, in my mind, and this is what I've worked my whole life to, is to quiet the noise that would create separation in my mind. Quiet the noise, resilience, heal our old traumas, because wherever there is disconnect and wherever there is any kind of conflict, in my observation, it's just there's like two wounded children in their patterns, and doesn't have to be that way. It's good information to see, to go inside and to heal. And then we can say, wow, we're both triggered. Why are we both triggered? We're both human. We both have nervous systems.
Right.
We have history in our body that we might not even remember.
Right.
And for whatever reason, you're catalyzing that trigger in me and I'm catalyzing in you. Okay, so let's put the trigger inside. Let's find our humanity in this.
That's right.
Let's show some care.
Right.
And the more that we can do that, that's how even what seems unrepairable can be repaired, because there's healing and growth. Right? So she's that example. Yeah.
Yay.
Yeah.
Listen to her talk.
Yeah. Thank you for all your thoughts that you brought in about her too. That was really very beautiful.
Well, and I don't know if we have time for we can skip I was going to talk about my update on my 641, but
no, do that. Go forward. I'll just touch into Heartmath a little bit. That's okay.
Well, no, because I was like, I'm more interested in the Heartmath.
Oh, you're more interested in the Heartmath.
Yes.
Okay, sure. And I chose this. I mean, last night, because I knew I was doing my Angelou, and I was wrestling with what's the other topic I'm going to do. And then all of a sudden I thought, oh, Heartmath. And it wasn't until I started putting it together what that makes so much sense, because the Heartmath is all about resilience.
Right.
It's all about creating a space of compassion and love and resilience to meet challenges with that, not just fall out of out of in our triggers, and then I come back to compassion and love. It's like, no, how do I carry that in those moments of challenge, in those moments of conflict within my own self, or anxiety and stress? So the Heartmath Institute is they had an incredible discovery. They started in 1991, and Doc Shildra and his team, they found brain cells in the heart. And they were like, how beautiful, what is?
He's saying, which I was going to go, wow, that's a really cool image.
Oh, look at the graphic. It is so beautiful. Yes.
It is a good one. Did you create that?
Oh, well done, Ron. Yeah.
Good job, Ron. But that's it's an awesome graphic.
It's a very awesome graphic. Yeah.
Go ahead. Go ahead.
So they discovered brain cells in the heart, and they're like, what's going on? And the more they researched it, they found more neural pathways going from the heart to the brain than the brain to the heart. The brain is not the source of everything. More neural networks of communication moving from the heart to the brain versus the brain to the heart.
Oh, wow.
So they discovered that there's a regulating system, this heart plexus, and also there's a measure of energy. The energy field of our, scientifically measured, of our heart field extends up to 6 feet.
Good morning, Danny.
Hi, Danny. It extends up to 6 feet around us, showing that we influence our environment with our emotional state.
Well, because that's, we talk about like energy, vibration.
Exactly. That's what it is.
And the kinetic energy, because we, in branding, we talk about, personal branding, your company branding, how do you get to your essence to be your authentic self?
Yes,
and it's because when you are finding like your style, your leadership style, how you show up, and it truly is from
the heart,
and you're genuine, right?
Yep.
Like, because I had this conversation yesterday with another founder or another business owner who's taken over a legacy business of his dad's. His dad started it in 1979, and he took over in 2018. But he was like, my dad was like larger than life personality, and
the business was him,
right? And he was like, that wasn't my style. He was, I know there's styles for everybody, and he was like, I try to emulate that, and it just, I didn't understand why I was failing. And I was like, because it's not genuine to you.
It's not his voice. Exactly.
It's not your voice. And he was like, I know. And it took 2 or 3 years to kind of uncover that. And he was like, when I felt more confident in my own skin, found my style, found my voice, he was like, we've grown tenfold in 3 years. And I said, it's because you're radiating authenticity.
Yes.
They've measured the wavelength of people and energy, and it's coming from your heart.
Yeah.
And it's being expressed everywhere.
And what that is, that radiance is coherency. It's congruency. It means there's an alignment between what he's thinking, saying, and doing. It's right? Whereas before he was thinking and doing what he thought to do, but it wasn't really how he felt.
And he felt uncomfortable. He was like, I'm being an actor in a play, right? It's fiction. But
the thing is the world, unless we seek it, the template of the world doesn't show us to rise.
Right.
We're called to rise, right? into our authenticness, really, because the world doesn't really set the stage for that. It sets the stage to copy, right? And then there's those of us that are like, no, I'm my own cookie. I'm not a cookie cutter cookie. I'm my own cookie, right? And then it's finding out, what kind of cookie am I? Am I chocolate with caramel crunch in it? Am I oatmeal?
That's
am
right.
I strawberry? Am I lemon?
Everybody has their own, and I think that's
cookies, right?
And I think that's part of. I always say that when I turned 50, dating I had like my own coming of age story, because I felt like it was my confidence was there way long before confidence was. And it was because I hadn't, I knew who I was, but didn't know how the world would see me.
Yeah.
And to find that voice, to find that strength, to find that confidence, to be so self-aware, and really to just, feel more empowered to show up.
Yeah.
More genuine.
That's the path.
Yeah.
That's the thing. The messy is the path, the uncomfortable, the wrestling with
right.
How do I bring out who I am? That is the path to who
you have to uncover all of that. Yeah.
We have to experience all that. And that's why for me, being an entrepreneur is one of the deepest spiritual schools next to being married.
We say that all the time of like, if you're going to be an entrepreneur, you're going to start a business.
Yeah. You got to meet
you will learn more about yourself.
Yeah.
And every flaw that you have, and you have to face it.
Totally.
You have to face it.
Yeah.
And I think, founders have more personal growth than any other kind of title, role, career path.
And you have to keep growing because you are in a live universe, and on a live universe, there's always movement, there's always change, there's always evolution.
Right, because you're growing your business. We call it like new level, every time you grow, it's new level, new devil that you're going to have to face.
I use that quote all the time too. New level, new devil. I use it all the time. It's true. I liken it like a video game. Okay, now I've mastered the first level of Donkey Kong.
I'm in level 2 now. I'm
now
in level 7.
Yeah, and I take the skills I learned there, and now I'm in the new one. So but those skills don't apply to everything. So
I got is different. There's new characters now being introduced.
Yes,
how do I navigate this?
Weapons, and everything. So when you have that knowing, and because sometimes I've seen many entrepreneurs, they beat themselves up because they think they should be where they're not. And it's like, no, you just got to breathe where you are, be where you are, meet it, see what part maybe doesn't feel authentic anymore, as you were saying. What part maybe last week this was exactly right for you, but maybe you've had an evolution, and maybe there's a tweak that needs to happen, or a change. And that's why being an entrepreneur is like, it's one of the toughest paths.
It is.
It's not an easy path.
It's not, and it's not for everybody.
It's not.
And I think the biggest ones of, if you stop growing.
Yeah.
And I would encourage this, even when we try to build teams, even to non-founders, but if you want to me, when you stop wanting to learn and grow and become complacent, I don't think you're not gonna find a lot of seats on a lot of buses and a lot of companies, because then you're not helping to progress that company either. Yeah. So it's not just, we feel like, well, I'm not a founder, I don't need to grow. You need to grow.
Yeah, you need to.
I just think, being in a founder seat, being a business owner seat, when you have to take all the responsibility and be, the accountability is on you, the personal growth is like an accelerant. At lightning speed.
And all the errors you make to learn the accountability.
Right. And I don't think errors and failures anymore in my vernacular. I stopped saying that. They're just lessons learned. They're either we had wins or they were lessons
learned. Yeah, exactly.
Because
so it's all wins. They're all
wins. Yeah.
So beautiful offshoot from the Heartmath, right? But this is all about the coherency, right? So what they discovered is that when they did like ECG measurements, so the heart might be like this, but the brain was working in the opposite direction, right? Or like the opposite moment. So that's what creates incongruency. And when we're incongruent, we can't radiate, we can't shine, we can't find our magic or our genius. We get lost in the chaos and the confusion of the mind and the heart frequencies not harmonizing. So the Heartmath, when it was founded in 1991, they dedicated it to understanding the intelligence of the heart. And some might say, oh, that's woo-woo, but this is pure science. They've done scientific studies to validate this more than anybody else on the planet. So it's not woo-woo.
It's It's because, like I said, they've measured the the wavelength of authenticity energy. So it's the same. Like there's no different of some of the black and the black women inventors we were talking about of measuring what is that the science behind when you turn off a light bulb, why is there residual light?
Exactly.
You know, it's all math.
Yeah. So they're looking at, well, also how does the heart impact us, right? The heart, the intelligence of the heart. How does it affect stress? How does it affect mental function? How do emotions and overall coherence in life, how does it affect that, right? Those are the studies they did. And so rather than focusing only on the mind and willpower, the Heartmath research shows that the heart plays an active role in our emotional, mental, and physical experience. And so one of the tests they did, and I love this, I know we're going a bit over time, but they wanted to test on people who had high accelerated stress and then they had to adapt quickly. They wanted to see how the Heartmath method would work for them. So they worked with police officers and firemen. So what they did is for the first 3 months, the police officers and firemen wore a device that would map their nervous system and the brain and heart waves, right? And so what they found is that on average, it would take 4 hours or more for their nervous system to return back to their baseline after one SOS call, right?
Wow.
So then they taught them the Heartmath method, and they got them to practice it every day for 3 weeks, morning and night, and then through the day, right? Then for another 3 months, they put on the device to measure them again, and the average went to only 20 minutes.
Wow.
It's huge. Right? And especially when you understand that for each adrenaline surge, it takes the body 14 hours to process it completely. So when you've got multiple surges, and if you don't have coherency and self-regulation, then we're basically poisoning our body and keeping ourselves in a cortisol adrenaline loop, which burnouts, digestive issues.
Right. Well, it's like when people have like PTSD, that hyperarousal.
Yes,
literally messes up somebody's nervous system
completely. But if you have a technique like the Heartmath method, you can counteract it and balance it. You can help the body process it better and faster.
What are the tips that they give?
Well, there's a series of I teach this as well. I'm trained as a Heartmath coach, and so there's 4 sessions that you do that teach. It's like building on each platform. So the first one is, and I'd like to share that here, it's the simple breath work of breathing in for the count of 5 through the nose. I've got a little bit of allergies this morning, so I'll breathe.
Me too.
So, but breathe in for 5, and then exhale for 5. And you just keep that rhythm and the ha. So that's the first step, right? And you do that for a few breaths, and you can already feel after 2-3 breaths, your shoulders are dropping, right? And then the next step is, and this is the next step within the first step, is now you're going to bring your attention to your heart center. So like the Hawaiian focus, Makia, where your attention goes, your energy flows, and that's what grows. So we're wanting to give a place for the mind to rest. So we're not going to be following it, right? So when you have a focus, then the mind can settle. So you're going to focus on your heart, and you're going to imagine like you're breathing in and out through your heart. You feel it, visualize it. So again, do that again. And bring that attention there.
Nice.
When you feel that, the nervous system starts to recalibrate. And so when you start practicing that every morning when you start your day, then you're preparing your nervous system to meet the day. And when you do it at night, you're helping your body to release the day. Because the reason we yawn is because our body is needing to oxygenate so we can sleep. If you do this breath work before you go to bed, then you're helping to reduce the stress, and you're helping yourself fall asleep a lot faster. And that's just the first step, right? And it's a really beautiful technique. I remember when I learned it, because I'm very spiritual. I'm actually very woo-woo, but I'm also very scientific.
Yeah.
I need both. For me to buy into something, I need both, right?
Right.
But I've got both totally. And so I was like, I wanted to expand my practice from massage and healing and the coaching through the Hawaiian work. I wanted to expand it into a bit more of a science-based method as well, so I could reach more people, so I could support more people. And so I did the training, and I'd done a lot of healing work already. And the first class was out of this world.
Mm.
She taught that breath that I taught you, and then we did it together. So we're also creating the coherency between us in a group, so that it amplifies the energy. And so we were breathing, and then all of a sudden it was like I felt this little shift inside me, and I don't know what it was. I'm not attached to naming it, but I felt these soft tears just come out.
Mm.
And I'm like, wow, this is powerful.
Mm-hmm.
Right? I went, okay, I'm all in. And so now I've been practicing that since 2011.
Wow.
Yeah, 2011. And what I've done now is I integrate it with my Hawaiian work too, because the Hawaiian work is also all about the breath. So I bring sort of a synthesis of the two together now. But I witness, the changes in my clients, profound, like unrecognizable after coming for a retreat for a few days. And the Heartmath is a key element of that, the breath. And yeah, so it's science, it's meditation science. And then the other steps, there's visualization, felt sense. There's 3 more layers to add to that first step I gave you here. Even if people just do that first step, that's already going to be magnificent.
Right.
Right? It's already going to make a huge impact. But if you want to go deeper, then there's those other 3 sessions, right? Those other 3 layers to learn. And it really transforms your life. And I've worked with kids too. And the beauty of them too, I got to fill this in because we should end pretty soon. They developed a software. So I have a software I could hook on your ear if you were here. And that rhymed. If I could hook on your ear if you're here. And then we would see on the monitor how your biology changes as you're doing the breathing. And so what they do now is they actually have a software you can download into your phone. And they give you a little device for your finger. And in that software, there are games like visual assists. Like one of my favorite ones is the hot air balloon, right? So the more coherent you become, the higher the balloon floats and the faster it gets to the finish line.
Right.
It's really cool visuals. And then there's gardens that suddenly there's flowers and light and
Right.
And so it's all like visual stimuli that's responding to your coherency. And so when I do that with children, they're like, I'm doing that? They're what is it? I made the water turn blue, right?
Right.
I made the unicorn show up in the garden. Right? And so they have that visual with what they're doing. And so for kids, it's great, and kids with ADHD or high stress or anxiety. Wow, it's magic for every human being. And the Heartmath Institute, they do a lot of volunteer work in war zones and places of tragedies where they have they set up their own little tent to help people come back from the shock. So they have 2 trainings, the Heartmath, and then they have the Resilient Heart. And the Resilient Heart goes deeper into the trauma, and that's where they offer the world. And it's magnificent. I think anybody who's doing any kind of healing work, or even I would say, for businesses, when you teach your team the Heartmath, because what happens is, so say you've got a really upset customer on the phone, right? And my nervous system is picking it up. So even if I sort of suppress it and I sound like I'm respectful, but inside I'm like that, right?
Right.
That energy comes
Tension.
right? And so, but if I do the Heartmath, because they've shown that my coherency ripples to the person in front of me. So especially with customer service, when you develop that and you teach your team that, you're going to have way more success.
Yeah.
Way more better outcomes through communication when there's problems, because problems are inevitable, challenges are inevitable.
Right.
But if we can find a way to navigate them so that there is coherency, which then gives birth to possibilities and new ideas and new approaches, then that's how relationships grow, and that's how a team can grow. Because if everybody knows the Heartmath method and one of them sees the other one's going through something, they can just do a gesture. I got your back. I'm supporting you. Don't worry. You got this. Right. So
Right.
it's a really beautiful team building practice as well. Yeah. Yeah. Whoa. Yeah.
That was good.
It's
That
very,
was
very
good.
powerful.
What a good
Yeah.
show. I loved it.
Yeah. Yeah.
Then what,
So
Saturday we've got, I don't know who's on.
No, you go ahead. You can do
It's
that.
like, so we're off tomorrow, but Saturday we have Lena and Kenny coming on, and then I don't know, Sunday. Are we off Sunday? I can't remember.
No, Ron is on with Kenny on Sunday usually, or
and is it what Kenny and because Ron's got to do his final top 5.
Yeah.
All right. Well, this was a great show.
Beautiful, awesome. Well, yeah, it's been great. Been really
And
great.
we'll see you. We're gonna sign off, and we'll see you guys. You won't see me next week. I'm going to Hawaii.
Oh, lucky you!
Yeah, and I don't know what my Wi-Fi situation will be there, so
okay.
I will see you guys in a couple of weeks.
Okay,
yeah.
Well, enjoy and say hello to who.
I need to get into warmth. The snow's killing me.
Yeah, right. Good plan. All right. Thank you, everybody who's watching now or later. Thank you so much. Appreciate you. And we look forward to, bringing you the good stuff every week.
That's right.
Come back. Yeah.